On tonight's show, we take a visit to the dining hall at Eastern, where changes have been made due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's March Madness tournaments come to a close. We have the results for the men's and women's championship games. And we have highlights from Eastern's fall and spring sports, with each team having a great start to their season. This and more on the April 8th edition of ETV News. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cameron Darcy. Many changes have been made to Eastern's dining program, creating a big impact on how students order their meals on campus. Reporter Julia Florence has more on the scene.
I think that on any college campus, the dining is, one of the most important parts of residential life.
Despite the pandemic, Eastern's dining hall has remained open all semester and continues to serve the community through providing daily food, to-go ordering, and quarantine meals.
On top of this continuous effort, however, Hurley and their partner, Chartwells, recently conducted focus group sessions to better accommodate students and staff in order to achieve their mission of providing safe, healthy, and inclusive offerings. To hear about what these included and what it means for Eastern, I recently sat down to speak with the Senior Director of Dining Services, Joseph Salvaggio, and Executive Chef, Connor Dodd.
So the whole purpose of the OSI focus group is to gain a better understanding of what the student body wants for the dining service program, to get feedback on things that have gone well and maybe not so well over the past year, and really just stay in touch with the campus and the needs of students eating in the dining hall and in the food court, for that matter. It's important for us, for me and my staff, to get the open, honest feedback, and that's my hope. I often say ad nauseum, at least to my staff, that if I don't know that there's a problem, then I can't fix it. I mean, we'll take as much time on any one given topic that we feel as though it deserves. We really try to dive deeper into the question, find out why we're getting the feedback, be it good or bad, that we're getting, and in turn find out what we can do to take that and change it and apply it to the dining program.
Specifically regarding COVID, Salvaggio predicts the following direct focus group response.
I think that, I think the negative feedback that we're going to hear due to COVID is the restriction or limited hours of operation, and the displeasure with that. If you go back prior to COVID, the dining hall was open for continuous service throughout the day. And now, in order to maintain cleaning and sanitizing, we've had to close in between meal periods, just to reset the dining room, get it cleaned and sanitized and ready for the next period. I also think that, we've had to scale back on some of the variety and food options that we've offered in Hurley, none of which were easy decisions to make. But it was important to scale back a little bit in order to maintain social distancing in the facility and really not have a buildup of lines as people wait. But as far as preparing the food, we still put forth the same effort. Some of the feedback, some of the common feedback that we get is obviously healthy and nutritious eating, and I'm very proud of my team for making great strides in that this past year.
Dodd shares what his team contributes to the cafeteria.
We always do a protein, starch, fat. We always have a balanced meal out on the line, and always a vegan, vegetarian option. So I think we do a good job of keeping everything balanced.
With that being said, they realize that
there's increasing demand for alternative protein options.
You got to please everybody. So, usually you get a couple spots for the vegans or vegetarians, a couple spots for the main entree, and then you got your spots for burgers, pizza. Usually we do the staples every day. We try to incorporate more and more options, but you only have, especially now with COVID, you're really limited on space on what we can offer. As we think about stuff over the summer to get ready for the fall, I'm sure there'll be more ideas too.
And in the meantime, the focus is
Really just tweaking and fine-tuning the program that we have.
the two Hurley representatives state the university plans and their hopes for the next academic year.
You know, a normal environment next year, and, you know, we can open the dining facilities back up, have the continuous service, have all of the meal options available.
We want to go back to self-serve. We want to go back to having Chinaware, so get rid of the disposables. And then, yeah, we're going to have all the stations should be back. Schaefer should open back up. Library Cafe should open back up.
And just even the catering, you know, I mean, that's one area that isn't necessarily focused on, but I mean, it does affect student groups and organizations where they haven't been able to get together as a group. And, you know, now we're coming up on the time now where students would typically have banquets and celebrations, and that's just not happening. So, you know, just to get back into the normal swing of things is what I'm looking forward to the most for next year.
From inside Hurley Hall on the campus of Eastern Connecticut State University, I'm Julia Florence with John Pellegrino behind camera reporting.
In response to recent social media posts alleging Eastern mishandled sexual assaults that occurred on campus, the university announced it has hired an independent firm to look into all its policies and procedures related to Title IX claims. The firm's findings will be made public. To report a sexual assault that happened on campus, contact the 24/7 Sexual Assault Crisis Center hotline for Eastern Connecticut at 888-999-5545. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual assault or harassment, you can also contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline for 24/7 confidential support at 800-656-4673 or chat online at online.rain.org. Eastern student government is now holding officer elections. They are looking for students to represent the student body at Eastern and help improve our campus during the academic year. Applications are due Sunday, April 11th by midnight. Check your Eastern email for more information on how to apply. On March 25th, a dodgeball tournament was held in the Geisler Gymnasium for residential students. R.A. Karina and R.A. Zach from Low Rise hosted the event with Matt DeMarco, the staff advisor of Intramurals.
I think a lot of people also just really wanted an opportunity to see other people and be able to do that in a space that was controlled.
With 95 students signed up to participate, the hosts broke up the tournament into brackets and time slots for all 16 teams to have a safe and equal amount of playing time. Pizza slices and refreshments were offered to participating students. Last Monday, a virtual event sponsored by the Office of Governor Ned Lamont titled Health Equality Solutions, Premier Consult Services was held on campus. During the event, Hartford Healthcare's Keith Grant spoke about the vaccine rollout in Connecticut and myths concerning the vaccine. As the Director of Infection Prevention, he discussed the studies made on how people of racial and ethnic groups are at increased risk of getting sick and dying from COVID-19. A similar event also took place today regarding minority health. This virtual meeting spoke specifically on the topics of undocumented immigrants, equity in COVID-19, anti-racist messaging, and other issues. As of April 1st, Connecticut's residents 16 and older are now eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Eastern encourages all students to get their vaccines to ensure the safety of themselves, their families, and the campus community. Students can use their Eastern ID to demonstrate their eligibility here in Connecticut. To sign up for a vaccine appointment, visit portal.ct.gov/vaccine portal. The state hopes to provide university students the opportunity to receive the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on campus in May. More details about the vaccine will be available in the upcoming weeks. The Board of Regents of the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities has decided to cancel spring break this year and give students an extra week of winter break. This decision was made to prevent students from leaving the university mid-semester and bringing the virus back with them when they return. Administration reached out with words of encouragement and pushed students to contact campus resources as needed in these difficult times. When we come back, colleges around the country are considering the requirement of the COVID-19 vaccine for residential students. We have more on that after the break.
As you watch the video, another innocent dog is being abused, neglected, or being put into a shelter. Dogs aren't just animals. They are our best friends.
The shelter told me that I saved his life, but in reality, he saved mine.
There are millions of neglected animals living in shelters around the world.
Our family always used to pick breeders, but once our lab passed away, we rescued Remy. It felt good to not only rescue a dog, but gain a best friend.
Adopt, don't shop.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Cameron Darcy. Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado is one of the first universities in the country to mandate that students receive the COVID-19 vaccine before returning to campus. The school's president feels that requiring this vaccine is no different than requiring other vaccines in order to be admitted to the university. More than 750 schools in Minnesota have reported cases of the new COVID-19 variant. The B117 strain is causing cases to spike around the country. Individuals aged 18 to 24 are being infected more than we've been seeing previously. Experts caution that this COVID strain is more contagious, causes worse symptoms, and is potentially more deadly. However, the current vaccines being administered seem to be fighting this variant successfully. Starbucks has started to test new recyclable plastic cups in select locations. The inside of these new cups are filled with a compostable liner instead of the traditional plastic one being used up to this point. The company claims that customers will not be able to notice a difference between the old and new paper cups. Starbucks is working to ensure that the cups are able to be recycled more easily. Over the weekend, March Madness came to a finish with the Women's Division I Championship last Sunday night in San Antonio. Stanford defeated in-conference rivals Arizona in a close 54-53 win, giving the Cardinals their first title in 29 years. Coach Tara Vanderveer became the winningest coach in women's college basketball history this season, while also securing her third championship as a head coach. On the men's side, Baylor cruised past the then undefeated Gonzaga to win their first ever NCAA men's national championship, 86-70. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tournament was held in Indiana, where both the Bears and Bulldogs were competing for their first title. After 33 seasons as a head basketball coach, the legendary Roy Williams is retiring from the University of North Carolina. In his 18 years at UNC, he led the team to 5 Final Four appearances. Coach Williams has won 903 games in his career with both UNC and Kansas. This makes him the third winningest Division I's men's basketball coach in history. After the break, we have updates on each of Eastern Sports' dominant start to their spring season. We'll be right back.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Cameron Darcy. Both fall and spring sports at Eastern are in full swing, as there has been about a month of competition. The softball team is ranked 12th in the country thanks to their perfect 14-0 record. Baseball has also had a hot start as they are undefeated in conference play. The team recently was voted third in New England's coaches poll. Head coach Dee Steffen continues to build on women's lacrosse's historic start, sitting at 7-2. The team hosts rival Keene State this Saturday. Men's lacrosse also hosts the Owls as they are cleared for play against LEC teams. Reporter Tyler Madden sat down with head coach Mark Graham for his take on the season.
So looking at the schedule, you matched up with Plymouth State on the road last Saturday, and then looking your next game is going to be this Saturday at home against Plymouth State. Can you talk to me about the uniqueness of this season with a schedule like that and what someone perceives as a challenge matching up the same team twice in 7 days?
It really is crazy. I mean, our national coaches convention this year for the IMLCA, the theme was adapt. And we had several coaches that came on, Division I coaches, professional coaches that came on, and they talked about that, how this season is going to be all about adapting. Except for the first 2 games, I don't think we've had the same starting lineup in any of our, 4 games. In 5, if you include the scrimmage we had with Suffolk Community. And so that's it. We've just continued to put people in different positions. We have Sean Anderson that I recruited here as a long stick midi. We switched him to short stick midi, and he started at attack for us in 2 different games and has 3 goals. And so, but that's been what we've had to do. We talked about that right at the beginning. It's going to take some adaptation. It's going to take some flexibility. And it's going to take some commitment to fill some different roles if we're going to be successful. And so far, guys have answered the call when we've asked them, every single one of our midfielders has either played down at attack at one time or another in practice or in a game. And so that's just it. We're trying to fit the best 10 onto the field at any one time, and our guys are doing a really good job at adapting.
You can see this entire interview posted on our YouTube channel. After winning their home meet, the men's and women's track team looks ahead as they travel to New London, Connecticut and compete against the Coast Guard Academy. Field hockey, men's soccer, and volleyball all have been playing this spring and have a combined record of 4-1. To see more of Eastern's athletics, be sure to tune in for live games at littleeast.tv and follow the social media accounts at ECSU Athletics. That's it for this edition of ETV News. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Cameron Darcy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, everyone.